Thank you, Mike. The conference this weekend, I just want to remind people, is an opportunity to learn more about the PSL and the struggle for socialism. This opening plenary has just been the beginning. As you participate in these panels and workshops this weekend, we hope you will consider joining the PSL. Our next speaker, Stevie Marino, is a candidate member of the Party for Socialism and Liberation in Los Angeles and is also part of the PSL organizing in the Long Beach area in the South Bay. She is a student and active in the struggle for LGBT rights. She will close the opening plenary presentations with information.
Hello all. So my name is Stevie Marino and I'm a candidate for the Party for Socialism and Liberation. This means that I joined the PSL and am going through the 6-month candidacy program that everyone goes through once they join. They learn about the party's program and what it means to be a member. I'll talk about membership in our party in a minute though. While we all go through the same candidacy program, we all have our own stories of how we join and why we join. So I'll make an attempt to keep mine short and sweet. I have been a youth coordinator for the Gay Straight Alliance for some time. I, along with a few others, saw importance and necessity to reach out and connect with inner city students and people of color. We began to have forums and campaigns in high schools in Los Angeles, Compton, and surrounding cities that otherwise had gone unnoticed. As a person of color who lives in the inner city, I understood that the racism I experienced in my life was systematic and experienced by, in fact, all colored people. I also saw that homophobia was instilled in people through religion. While the LGBT struggle is as well near and dear to my heart, I was determined to do away with racism, sexism, homophobia, and bigotry in my community and beyond. It was the war in Iraq, along with the related hate crimes against Arab and Muslim people in the U.S. and racism in the media, that helped me take the next step in my political consciousness. I parted ways with political activism that existed within the confines of an office and took to the streets as an activist in the anti-war movement. Someone I had worked with in the past forwarded me an application to be an intern for the Answer Coalition, which stands for Act Now to Stop War and End Racism. I felt at home with a group that had a strong anti-racist and anti-imperial message. So I started volunteering, and from then I have never left. It was amazing to see an organization that was as militant organized as the Answer Coalition. It was evident through their ability to hold mass protests based on the dedication of an entirely volunteer base. The PSL is a member of the Answer Coalition. Members of the PSL are volunteers and organizers for Answer. Being a reformed liberal Democrat, it was brought to my attention that many of the ills of society were brought about through capitalism, including the sense of individualism we are engineered to believe in and even fight for at a young age in order to focus more on the few differences we all have rather than the similarities that exist amongst us. I came to understand that socialism is the only answer to the institutionalized homophobia, racism, bigotry, systematic oppression, and self-hate we are accustomed and victim to under capitalism. It is the clear and definitive way to combat poverty and end wars that capitalism breeds. The party's platform was people over profits, and now that has become my platform. And I hope by the end of this conference it would become yours as well. To become involved in the Party for Socialism and Liberation is quite easy, as each of you have already made the first step by attending this conference, becoming educated, active, and interested in the subject at hand. As I mentioned before, there's a 6-month candidacy program where the candidate begins to play an active role in organizing and participates in educational classes on what socialism is and why it is necessary. This is done because the party stresses building a vanguard party that will be at the forefront of all fights, as everyone has given examples of. We want to increase in numbers and have experienced great growth, but we also stress that joining the party is a serious commitment and give those interested an opportunity to work with and learn about the party becoming a full member. As a candidate member, I have been a part of the fight for immigrant rights, participating in protests you have probably seen on the news or were a part of, as well as the undeniably racist police brutality in LA. I also traveled to Washington, D.C. to help organize for the September 15, 2007 anti-war demonstration of over 100,000 people. and then for the LA demonstration on the 5th anniversary of the Iraq War last March. We will remain in the streets until the troops are completely withdrawn. The PSL also recognizes the special oppression faced by women under capitalism, as well as the critical role of women in the working class struggle. We organized the Women's Conference last spring and work in solidarity with the Gabriella Network and other working class women's organizations. As a member of the Los Angeles branch, I have become involved in organizing in LA and also working with other comrades in LA branch who have been working hard and diligently to organize in the South Bay, Long Beach area through study groups, university outreach, and meetings. I encourage everyone here, whether you live in LA, surrounding areas, cities with a branch, a PSL branch, or without a branch, to talk to us about joining the party and becoming a candidate member so that you too can join the movement to stand up and fight back. Thank you.
Thank you, Stevie. Before we end the opening plenary, I'd like to review the conference agenda for today and make a few announcements. Following this plenary, we